In this application problem, I'm going to show you how to solve a system of equations, and then also how to write the system of equations that you need to solve. So this is where application problems just become a slightly bit more challenging than when you have the system already ready for you. So in this problem it says, read the scenario and use the best method to answer the questions asked. Be sure to show all of your work. Now, in the previous video, I talked about the 3 methods for solving: graphing, substitution, and elimination. And I'll talk about which one of those I'm going to pick and why, and then we'll get an answer. It might be a point, it might be no solution, it might be infinite solutions. Now, as I'm looking at this, if I don't see a graph required, I probably won't solve with graphing. So that should be probably the easiest one. There's an example I have in my notebook on the next page where I see a graph provided, and in that case I would always pick graphing because, well, they want you to graph because there's a graph there. And so just kind of as an easy tip, at least for graphing or not graphing, if you don't see a graph, then you don't need to graph. You could use substitution or elimination. So here's our problem. It says you buy 6 bags of wild bird seed to fill the feeders in your yard. There's a Bradley bird seed that sells for $4 a bag. And then there's a Peterson bird seed that sells for $4.45 a bag. If you spend $25.80, how many of each type of seed did you buy? Let X represent the Bradley bird seed bags that you bought, and let Y represent the number of Peterson wild bird seed that you bags that you bought. So here's kind of my helpful tip that I went through the other scenario with. And we want to keep our items together, and then we want to keep our monies together. So here was my hint that I wrote down. You'll see if you're following along my Canvas page, my answer key here, but here was my hint. And I said you want to keep your costs together. Now I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting just because that really works for me to keep my information together. And so one of the first things that we read was that you buy 6 bags of bird seed. And so I know I'm going to need that at some point. And then it says here that Bradley bird seed sells for $4 a bag. So I'm going to highlight that information. And I was also told here X, the letter X will represent the Bradley bird seed. So I'm going to put those in the same color because they're going to go together. Bradley bird seed is going to go with my X. And I was also told that our Peterson bird seed sold for $4.45 a bag. And I was told that Y should represent that bird seed. And then I was also given one more piece of very important information, and it said that the total amount of money that we spent was $25.80. So, write an equation for the total number of bags that were purchased. Well, I know the total number of bags I purchased was 6. And so if I bought 6 bags, I know I purchased some amount of bags of X plus some amount of bags of Y, the number of bags, and that is what X represents. The number of bags and the number of bags for Y should equal the total number of bags that we bought, which was that number 6 right here. And then I'm going to keep my cost, the costs together. And this is where I had $4 per Bradley bag. So 4 per X, $4 per X, plus, let's see here, $4.45. $4.45 per Y, and that equaled the total cost that we spent at the store, $25.80 that I highlighted here. And so just kind of a hint, you bought bags from one brand, you bought bags from the other brand, total number of bags you bought was 6. The cost plus the cost equals the total cost of each type of Bradley bag. Now you get to decide which method you want to solve. Now I noticed that my first function here, I'm going to write these together. I like to write my system kind of in a set because they belong together. I have X plus Y is equal to 6, and I have 4X plus 4.45, Y is equal to 25.80. I noticed that this would be a very easy equation to solve for one of the variables, and I'm going to solve for Y. And I'm going to do that to solve with substitution. So I notice, again, just that previous video, if one equation is already solved for you, or if it's very easy to solve for one of the letters, x or y, then I'm going to utilize substitution. So here we go. If I subtract this x over here to this side, my y will equal the x that I subtracted, so it's negative now on this side, plus the 6 that was already there. And then what I'm going to do is sub this expression into the y of my other equation. And so it's going to look like this when I substitute that in. I'm going to use a pencil now just in case I make a mistake. I can erase a lot easier than with a pen. So my 4x, plus 4.45y. I'm going to sub this expression in here, the negative x plus 6. And that will equal the 25.80. So it's kind of like if you see, you're just plugging that expression in for the y of the other equations, hence that's why it's called substitution. Now we're going to distribute, combine like terms, and we're going to solve for x, which is our Bradley bags. You might need a calculator here because you got some decimals, so I'm going to get mine out and ready. 4x plus, now if I distribute here, this is going to be actually plus a negative, so I'm going to write a minus sign now. 4.45x plus 445 times 6, and I get 26.7 equals 25.80. Now on the left side, I notice that I have some terms that I can combine because they are alike. They both have the letter x. And 4 minus 4.45 is negative 0.45. And plus that 26.7 equals 25.80. Now I'm going to subtract the number here from the other side of the equal sign, and I'll have negative 0.45, that was for my x, equal to, now if I subtract these two numbers with my calculator here, 25.8 minus 26.7, I get negative 0.9. And now all I'm going to do is divide by that coefficient in front of x, negative 0.45. Okay, so divide by negative 0.45. And I get an answer of 2. So x equaled 2. So I'm going to write my point here. We're going to have x comma y, and x was our Bradley brand, and the y was the Peterson brand. And I'm going to put 2, my solution 2, where the x spot goes, so the Bradley bags that I bought, the number of them was 2. Now, it said the total number of bags equation was 2, then 2 plus y equals 6. If I bought 6 total bags, and I know one of the brands of bags I bought 2 of those Bradley bags, then I know 6 minus 2 then means I had to have purchased 4 Peterson bags. So again, this equation, I'm just now substituting in x into the total number of bags. So if I bought 6 bags, and I know 2 were the Bradley kind, my algebra says that means by default I brought 4 of the other kind of bag. And that's our solution. 2 types of Bradley bags and 4 types of Peterson bags were bought. I'm just going to highlight my answer for emphasis. Well done. Good job.